What is up, awesome people of the internet? Here is everything that you need to know about day one of the NCAA women's tournament. All right, let's get into it. So the first round kicked off with a possible blowout that got really interesting at the end as North Carolina defeated Michigan State 59-56. Now, Michigan State was down by 16 in the second quarter, and they rallied all the way back to make the game very interesting late in the fourth. Getting down to a 1-point game with seconds left to go, but it was UNC that was able to make their free throws, and Tiani Key, who was able to grab a key offensive rebound that secured the win for North Carolina. Player of the game for North Carolina was for sure Alyssa Utsby, who scored an efficient 16 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 assists.
You guys came out greedy in the beginning of the game. I'm so proud of you. You guys are on to the next round. Guess what? It's not over yet.
In our next game, the number 15 Maine Black Bears attempted to do the unthinkable and take down Ohio State, but they just didn't have enough because Ohio State wins this game comfortably, 80-57. Ohio State was, as usual, led by J.C. Sheldon, who knotted in 19 points and 4 assists for the squad. Also, J.C. did get her 2,000th point in this game. So shout out to J.C. Sheldon for 2,000 points. It's pretty impressive. All right, on to the next one, where we had an absolute blowout as the South Carolina Gamecocks absolutely demolished the Presbyterian Blue Hose. Again, their name is Blue Hose, Bluehose. So the Gamecocks beat the Blue Hose 91-39. Presbyterian really tried their best, but when you are playing the best team in the country, it is not much you can do. Everybody ate for South Carolina, including Chloe Kitts, a.k.a. Chloe Targaryen, who came off the bench and went perfect from the field, finishing with 21 points and getting 13 rebounds. A thing to note is that Camila Cardoso was suspended for this game, and Bree Hall didn't play in this game due to precautionary reasons, according to Don Staley. On to the next one, we have Duke and Richmond, which was a real back and forth battle. But in the end, Duke was able to get it done in the second half, winning 72-61. Duke's ethos is all about defense. And in the first half of the game, they allowed the Spiders to get 3 after 3 after 3 after 3, giving them a 31-28 lead at the half. But Duke came out with a better defensive stance in the second half, and they actually was able to score the ball, being led by Reagan Richardson, who knotted in 25 points and 7 rebounds for Duke.
The things that we talk about a lot with our group is handling adversity and being able to forget about a individual poor performance or a team poor performance and focus on what's next. And we talked about that at halftime. Like, we were down 9. It probably felt to some of us that it was a lot more than that. You know, people wearing blue in the stands probably felt like more than that. But I try to just speak like the reality to them of like, okay, we're down 9. We have 20 minutes left. Let's have a good start. Like, let's have a good first 2-3 minutes. And in that first 2-3 minutes, I think we scored 5 or 6 points. And then now it's a 1-possession game. And it's like, oh my goodness. I mean, I think I said that to them in huddle too. I'm like, guys, we're down 2. You know, like, this is a ball game. And that's what you just have to keep reminding, because you don't want to dig a hole mentally for yourself. You want to just stay positive.
All right, next up we head to Texas, where the Longhorns easily took down the Drexel Dragons 82-42. Drexel was no match for Texas at all. They were a short squad, and they didn't have the firepower to match Texas. As opposed to her normally needing to score a lot of points for the team, freshman Madison Booker was a straight-up facilitator in this game, dishing out 14 assists. And if you're wondering who was she passing it to, well, she was passing to people like Shaylee Gonzalez, who had 21 points in this game, and Taylor Moore, who added in 18 points. One other thing to note is that Deanna Gadsden was sick in this game, but she did play through it all, getting a double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds. No Elizabeth Kitley? Well, no problem, as the Virginia Tech Hokies took down the Marshall Thundering Herd 92-49. Now, Virginia Tech looked good from the start of the game, and they never really let up. Matilda Eck did her thing, hitting 5 3-pointers and scoring 21 points in this game. And Kitley's replacement, Sarah Strack, brought in 17 points as well. If you don't know, Elizabeth Kitley is out for the remainder of the season due to a ACL tear that she suffered right before the season ended. And as the best player on the team, other players needed to step up in order for Virginia Tech to actually make a run. Other players stepped up in that first game against Virginia Tech, and we will see how far Virginia Tech is able to go from here on out. All right, now heading to the PMAC, where LSU barely took down Rice 70-60 in a very, very, very ugly game. Credit to Rice and especially Malia Fisher, who kept the Owls in it basically the entire game. But really, this game was really all about turnovers. LSU stars combined for a total of 20 turnovers. That is right, 20 turnovers, with a huge amount of those turnovers being travels. It felt like there was a competition of sorts about who could get the most turnovers in the starting lineup for LSU. Sure, LSU dominated the boards as usual, and they shot okay from the field, but it really was the unforced errors on the offensive end that kept the Owls in this game. The double-double queen, known as Angel Reese, did her thing again with 10 points and 19 rebounds. And last, Tirapoa returned to the court with an ovation from the crowd as she played in her first game since being carted off in a stretcher and sustaining a concussion in the SEC tournament. K-State versus Portland was a very interesting game as K-State held on to a slim margin to beat Portland 78-65. The Wildcats got off to a really fast start, leading 25-10 at the end of the first quarter. Portland charged back in the second and for the rest of the game, but it felt like the Pilots just didn't have enough at the end. They were just sort of right there lurking throughout the game, but they didn't have enough to pull up the upset. Both teams are very physical in this game and played their hearts out, and it was just that K-State had built up enough of a lead, especially in that first, that gave them enough to maintain the lead and maintain the win. All right, now on to Alabama, who took down Florida State 82-74. Now, for Alabama's Christy Curry, she had scoring on her mind, and that is exactly what her squad did. Led by freshman Essence Cody, who had a career day, scoring 20 points and grabbing 14 rebounds. And also, might I add, she had 4 blocks in this game as well. For Florida State sophomore phenom Tanaya Latson, she did everything she could. She put on for her team, scoring 25 points and getting 5 assists, but it just wasn't enough to come back in the fourth to pull off the victory. Alabama did their thing. And one thing to note about Alabama is that they are playing without their starter, Jessica Timmons, who had a season-ending injury during the SEC tournament. Carly Weathers is stepping in for Timmons, and she put up 18 points and 5 assists in this game against FSU. The Baylor Bears took down Vandy 80-63, and for Baylor, it was all about defense, having active hands, forcing turnovers, and hitting some three-pointers. And speaking of three-pointers, Bella Fauntleroy was the player of the game for Baylor, getting out of a shooting slump and hitting 4 threes, finishing the game with a team high of 19 points, and also grabbing 11 rebounds. Colorado was on upset alert early in the game, but they did get the job done, beating Drake 86-72. Drake hung in there in the first half, but the third quarter, Colorado was able to get some separation that helped them to sustain the win. The Buffs was led by Aronette Vanley, who had a double-double with 18 points and 10 rebounds. Now it was all about the freshmen that got it done as Iowa State took down Maryland 93-86. Maryland got off to a hot start in this game, at one point leading by 20 points, but then came Iowa State. More specifically, then came freshman phenom Audi Crooks, who had a career-high 40 points and 12 assists. She put on for her team, she put her team on her back, and methodically scored basket after basket after basket, finishing with a very efficient 18 of 20 from the field. And, I mean, that was the story of the game. Audi Crooks was on national television. This was her national coming out party on ESPN2, showing the world that she is here and the future of basketball in Iowa is secure.
Who doubted what's in the heart and soul of an Iowa State player made a huge mistake today. Cyclones, 1, 2, 3.
Oregon State defeated Eastern Washington comfortably, 73-51. The game started off on upset alert when Eastern Washington took the lead in the first quarter, but the Beavers said psych and dominated the rest of the way. Of course, Oregon State was led by their star, Reagan Beers, who almost had a double-double with 19 points and 9 rebounds. She did leave in the third quarter after spraining her ankle and did not return for the rest of the game. We will see how she fares for the rest of the tournament. Stanford defeated Norfolk State 79-50. This game was very close in the first quarter, and then Stanford turned it up a notch, doing what they needed to get the easy win against Norfolk State. Projected number 2 pick in the WNBA draft, Cameron Brink had another double-double with 17 points and 15 rebounds, and also 6 blocks, by the way. Kiki Ira-Afen added 17 points and 9 rebounds for the Cardinals. And finally, we finish off day 1 with a thriller of a game as the Nebraska Cornhuskers narrowly defeat the Texas A&M Aggies 61-59. Now, for this game, it was overall a very ugly game that really wasn't a good game until the second half. In the fourth quarter, the Aggies had a massive run, getting the lead with a 59-58 score with 17 seconds left to go in the game. But then we saw a bad foul by KK Green. Logan Nisley takes to the free throw line, making both free throws, putting Nebraska up by 1 point. The Aggies then take a timeout, and they have the ball with 14 seconds left to go. And instead of getting the ball to Kubali, Janiyah Barker tries to take it herself, gets the turnover, and the game is over. Nebraska wins. And for the Cornhuskers, they live to fight another day. All right, so that is all that you need to know about day 1 of the NCAA tournament for round 1. Now, my question for you all is, did you watch any of these games? What did you think about them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, on your way out, if you could please hit that like button if you appreciated the wrap up of the day's games. Also, if you want more of these, if you want this for every single day of the NCAA tournament, let me know and I will make that happen. And also, if y'all could hit that subscribe button on your way out, that would be absolutely amazing. We are on our road to 10,000 subscribers and we are like almost there. So maybe you will be the 10,000 subscriber for the channel. Let me know if you actually are. Thank you so much for your support. Until next time, guys. Bye.